So yeah, the most important file in your repo right now is the markdown file. And the worst thing you can do to it is the thing your tool keeps offering to do for you. Okay, so here's how this goes for basically every solo dev I know. You spin up a new project, you open Claude Code or Codex or whatever you're running, and the tool goes, hey, want me to generate your Claude.md? And you go, yeah, sure, why not? It digs through your repo for a minute, spits out this super confident document about your architecture, your conventions, your whole setup. Feels responsible, file exists, box checked, ship it. And I did exactly this for way too long. But here's the thing. Earlier this year, some researchers actually bothered to test this, like properly, real repos, real tasks, different models, different agents, no instruction file, a file the model generated itself, and a file an actual dev wrote by hand. And the result made me sit back in my chair. The generated files made the agents worse. Not neutral. Worse. Slower. Burning way more tokens. More likely to wander off and faceplant. And the handwritten ones were the only ones that helped, and only when they stayed small and specific. And the reason why is the part nobody tells you. Everything in that file sits in front of the model on every single turn of every session, forever. So when the agent writes itself a file full of stuff it already found in your code base, you didn't give it knowledge. You gave it required reading. It has to reread before it's allowed to think, and then the file goes stale. And now it's steering your agent towards stuff that stopped being true months ago. You ever feel like your agent got dumber over the life of a project? Sharp in week one, kind of cooked now. And yeah, go check your file. Just real quick, I'm Daniel. Been in the iOS trenches for over a decade. Started out freelancing, ended up at glassfi.io. And after Dub 25, I just went all in solo. Since then, I've shipped a dumb amount of my own apps, all Swift UI, all built in public, most of them with an agent riding shotgun. And everything I figure out the hard way, the agent setups, files like the one we're talking about today, the stuff that broke on me first, it all lands in Crafter's Lab. Not a tutorial site, definitely not an AI clone farm. You get the actual workspace, my Notion, my Slack, the agents running the studio. It's for solo devs who treat AI like a teammate, not a vending machine. And hey, if you're still over on Patreon, thank you genuinely, but everything's moved to crafterslab.dev. Come be part of the crew. Okay, so if the generated version is a tax, what's the handwritten one even supposed to be? Because I think most people have the wrong mental model entirely. The file is not a README. It's not a tour of your project. The model can find all of that itself. It's genuinely cracked at that part. The file is a steering wheel. That's it. It exists to stop failures you've actually watched happen. My rule of thumb, if the agent can find it in the code base, it doesn't belong in the file. What goes in is the stuff the agent keeps screwing up, keeps reaching for the wrong pattern. That's a line. Keeps firing some command that nukes my dev environment. That's a line. Keeps writing code in a style I'd never ship. Line. Every line should answer one question. What actual mistake does this prevent? And if the answer is none, it just sounded smart. Delete it. Not gonna lie, deleting lines has fixed my agent's behavior more than adding them ever has. Subtraction is the move, and here's where people get it twisted. Okay, so I gotta write this by hand like some markdown monk. And yeah, kinda. But there's a middle ground, and it's the best workflow I've found for any of this. I let the agent do the digging. I do the writing. I point Claude at my own session history, real sessions, real faceplants, and ask it to find the patterns. What did you mess up most? Where did I have to correct you twice? And it comes back with this brutally honest little audit of its own behavior, kind of wild watching an agent snitch on itself. And then I write the lines myself, in my words, because the writing is the thinking. Let the model write the lines and you get slop back, the same generic advice it would write for literally anyone. The file is your scar tissue in text form, and the model doesn't have your scars. You do. All right, let me show you what this looks like in the real world. It's damn near identical across all my projects. First thing you'll notice, it's short, aggressively short. People expect a giant instruction manual, and it's really not that. It opens with a role and an identity, who the agent is, what it's building, what bar it's working to. For me, that's the whole SLC thing: simple, lovable, complete. Then a small routing table, just a map of which doc owns which topic. The coding rules live in one file, the product scope in another, and this file just points. Then a handful of key constraints, the genuinely non-negotiable stuff, like verify on a real device before you dare call anything done. And then my favorite part, the do not list, a flat list of things the agent is never allowed to do. No softening, no corporate politeness. That list is where most of my scar tissue lives. But here's the honest part: the file is not what makes my sessions feel different. What changes a session is what the file routes to. I've got a builder skill and a reviewer skill, and that's where the real behavior lives. The builder builds, the reviewer walks in cold and tears the work apart. The file is the front door. And look, I'm not the only one saying this out loud. The people paying the closest attention are all landing in the same spot. Write it yourself, keep it small, let skills do the heavy lifting. So, if you take one thing from this video, steal the skeleton: role, identity, routing, constraints, do not list. Write it tonight by hand out of your own failures. Takes less time than one cooked agent session. And come on, we've both lost more than one of those. So, yeah, if you're still here, honestly, you're a legend. Here's the thing I keep coming back to: we let the tools write more and more of our code. And honestly, good, huh? That's the point. But the craft didn't die, it just moved up a layer. It lives in the instruction file now, in the skills, in the calls you make about what the agent's allowed to assume. And that's the part nobody can generate for you, because it's built out of your screw-ups. Which, honestly, great news for solo devs. That's the layer where being small and stubborn beats being big and sloppy. And if you actually want to go deeper on any of this, come check out crafterslab.dev. I built the thing myself, and it runs no matter what you're on. Claude Code, Codex, Cursor, whatever lands next. It's not a tutorial dump. It's not another one of those AI clone farms. It's a live workshop. I made it for solo devs who treat AI like an actual teammate, not just a button you smash when you're stuck. The core of it is the Notion side. There's SwiftBrain, the Swift and Swift UI vault I feed by hand. There's Ops Lab, the agent instructions and skills my studio runs on. But today, I want to walk you through the playbook, because everything we talked about, the file, the skills, the audits, it all lives there. It's not a doc database. It's the actual command center where my whole AI team works. The PM writes up the tasks, the builder grabs them and goes. Everyone leaves session notes on the way out. Nothing dies in the handoff, and I'm going to be real with you. It's massive. There's no clean way in. You kind of have to pick one project and just follow it. But that's what a real studio looks like. A tidy version would be the fake one. And the part that still gets me, most of it I didn't even write, the agents did. So go poke around, copy whatever's useful, remix it into your own setup, totally break it if you want. That's kind of the point. So yeah, come build with us. You get the room, the crew, the agents, and somebody to swap notes with when the thing you're building goes weird on you. Crew's still small and prices move as it grows, so now's kind of the sweet spot. Feels way more like a behind-the-scenes dev lounge than some giant faceless forum. I'd love to see you in there. Keep crafting, keep